Welcome, everyone, to the Wrestling League podcast, web show, whatever you want to call it. The top three are here. And as the quarantine goes on, we'll make sure we add in all the different members of the Wrestling League that want to participate. But to get the show off the ground, I wanted to start with the top three. The commissioner to my, I messed this up on the other show, whatever this way is, Ryan Thompson, a.k.a. Zero Hacker. You can see his little tag down there. And to my left, nope, see, that would be my right. I get it reversed, is Greg Malek, a.k.a. formerly the Indie Darling, who refuses to put the mask back on, even though this is a wrestling show on the Thoughts from the Bench network. I feel like I got the hair going, I'm growing the stash back out, and what are you doing to help the cause? Nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
I'm
totally cool with it.
I'm mad at you, and I'm just pissed that you're not doing it. All right. Ryan's booing you. So basically what I wanted to do is just kind of go through the highlights of this week's wrestling. I don't think there's anything to talk about necessarily on SmackDown on Friday, but next week we'll add SmackDown to the show.
Sounds good.
I feel like they were still trying to get their feet under them with the empty arena show.
It was a valiant effort, by the way. I mean, what more could you do? They clearly could have done better like Dynamite did, but I mean, for a first-time effort, though, it's something.
It was the best that they had, I think, and I'm not gonna necessarily punish them for it, but
Are you two just trying to out-gimmick one another right now?
I think we are. I have the hat, so that's all that really matters. Oh my
god!
Damn,
the hat. My $85
the other
hat
is downstairs.
The Kane mask is pretty great, though.
You with the hat on, you look so much like Joey Janela with those glasses too. Like you're a dead ringer for Joey Janela. And
I will take that. So we're totally off topic, but who cares at this point? So I've sent the Wrestling League a picture of this guy before. There's a guy at Trader Joe's who's a dead lookalike of Joey Janela. And I
think
went
I know
up,
who you're talking about.
I went up to him, his aisle, and I went in with the purpose during this quarantine to be like, hey, do you know who Joey Janela is? And he was like, no. And I showed him pictures and stuff. He's like, I do look like Joey Janela. He's like, you're 100% right. And I was explaining that Joey Janela is kind of like Mick Foley, but douchier.
Yeah. If Mick
great
Foley
way to
drank
look
White
at it,
Claw.
actually.
Yeah, if Mick Foley drank White Claw, that would be Joey Janela.
But could only afford Truly.
Wow.
Wow.
Or Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
That's more like it.
I've had Bud Light Seltzer at my store for 2 months now, and even in this state, no one has bought any Bud Light Seltzer.
Austin was drinking Bud Light Seltzer.
Why am I not surprised?
Austin was drinking Bud Light Seltzer. He said he's on a diet, and there's only 100 calories per can.
Oh, boy, I got to have a word with him. He has more options than that.
Mm-hmm.
Austin does not. He drinks Miller High Life on purpose. All right.
And also Michelob, Prickly Pear, and Cactus from what was made apparent too.
So let's just go over general. We'll go through Raw almost segment by segment. But what was your overall score for Raw, 1 through 10?
Commish, you want to go first?
I'd say mine. It's yes, I'll definitely go first. I'd say that it's maybe. I don't know, like a 6, because it was definitely not as good as SmackDown was, considering there was one match.
Yeah.
But the promos kind of made it worth it, because the Edge promo was killer. I think
we'll get into that.
Yeah, Edge promo was killer, but I think a 6 overall.
Gregors,
what do you think?
He froze.
No. Well, I'll step in for Gregors. I think.
Greg,
no, he's back.
Get?
Okay.
Yeah. So first off, I apologize because you guys froze up, so I missed all that. So
Ryan gave it a 6.
Okay. If I was basing this on just promos, because throughout the night, I thought Edge's promo was great. I thought Kevin Owens' promo was great. I thought AJ had an okay promo, better than what we've done recently. So I would have given that like 8.5 from that. But because it was only one match, and because we watched the Royal Rumble throughout the entire.
Okay. He froze again.
Yeah. Well,
the phone is not good on Zoom.
No, man. This is my first time on Zoom, by the way.
Well, welcome. This is my new toy.
I like it. I think it's going to work well.
I like the functionality of Zoom. I just need to get a new phone, like in the worst way. Maybe when I get my $1,000 from the government, I'll upgrade.
A phone or a computer?
Yeah, why don't you use a computer?
Both, actually. I can do both, actually, when I think about that. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine, I think I gave it a 7 overall. I thought the promos were really good. Not all of them needed to be in the ring, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
But I think they definitely improved on what SmackDown was on Friday. So let's go kind of segment by segment here. The first thing is Edge's promo was so freaking good, wasn't it?
It was
phenomenal.
It was killer. It just made me like he hasn't lost a step. If anything, I feel like his promos are, just more intense, more real. It just like really drew me into, the match that's going to be if Randy Orton accepts, the match that will be at Mania though.
Kayfabe's alive.
Yeah, hey, keep it alive, man. I love it. I was not expecting this match to be last man standing. So if that actually does end up becoming a thing, I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens with it, especially because I don't know how you do a last man standing match at the PC, to be honest with you. But hey, everything is up for debate now in this brave new world of pro wrestling. So we shall see. But I agree. I think Edge was using those new acting chops, by the way, to help with his promos, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. In terms of how they're going to do it in the PC, rumor and innuendo says that a lot of things might not be at the PC for WrestleMania, which they might be able to use to their advantage in a way. When we talk about Dynamite, I'll get more into how they could lay out WrestleMania a little bit better. But I think that having Edge and Orton in a different environment than an empty arena would benefit it greatly.
I think all you got to do is look at that brawl between Gargano and Ciampa. That was one of the best brawls we've seen in a long time. And it was epic. And we'll get to it later, but there's also a rumor that Mania won't be happening at the PC at all, and that, in fact, it'll be delayed. Which
I saw that too, and I was just like, God, what are they going to do?
Sounds very McMahonian.
It is.
God damn.
Does it bother you guys that Edge's best feuds are always based around a girl?
Not really, but I also don't. I wasn't watching when like Rated R Superstar Edge was around, so I'm not as familiar with them. So this to me is like all new.
Okay.
Greg?
So I'm not opposed to that, but at the same time, like I would argue that him and Cena's feud, it was probably Cena's best feud, and that didn't necessarily involve. I'm sorry, but like they had a lot of really good matches, like when they were trying to like get each other, especially like when Cena was trying to get over at that point. I'm just saying like they didn't need Lita involved with it, and it was still entertaining. So I'm not ready to go that route yet, but I do see what you're saying because yes, like women usually are involved when he has great feuds, even if it's Vicky Guerrero or Lita at that point.
Right. All right, let's move on. Oh, the thing that made me pop is when he said that Mick Foley was the reason that they both got over.
Yeah.
That made me pop.
It's
I was like,
point.
my eyes got so big. I was like, I can't, one, believe that he said that, and two, like, nobody ever gives Foley that credit.
No.
And he deserves it so much more. Like, Paige needs to give Foley credit. Like, there's so many people who could, like, look at Foley and give him the shout out that Edge did, and I'm like, I'm here for this. Any pro Foley, and we'll get into this later in AEW. Foley's importance in WWE supremacy, I know, is not often overlooked when they talk about the Monday Night Wars, but I feel like it's not appreciated the way it should be. So
no. Was Edge Mick Foley, was that the match with the flaming table?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I got everything correct.
So Mark Calloway was on Raw. I don't know where The Undertaker was, but the old man, Mark Calloway, was there. And that bothered me deeply.
Hey, man, me, Mark here. I'll tell you what.
How much do you hate the, like, humanizing of The Undertaker by calling him Mark, by bringing his wife into it?
So I don't hate it as much as I would have maybe even 2 years ago, because, like, a lot of the points that AJ makes are kind of accurate. He is an old man. He really can't work too much. It's really weird seeing him, like, break kayfabe on Michelle McCool's Instagram page. The Undertaker has taken a lot of mystique out of The Undertaker, and so I think AJ calling that out is actually pretty cool.
Okay. Greg?
I think if this was the American Badass Undertaker, I'd be okay with it, because that was a way more humanized version of the Undertaker, and we can get with that, but not this Undertaker, not anywhere close. Like, the whole purpose of this Undertaker is he is a gimmick. He is a living embodiment of a gimmick, and the more you humanize him, the more the mystique essentially dies away with it. And yes, there is definite truth to everything AJ says. He's married to Michelle McCool. He's definitely up there in age. Like, I don't think he should be wrestling anymore. I thought when Roman Reigns beat him at Mania, he should have been done. I thought he should have been done. It was the perfect send-off for him, and he just continues to come back whatsoever. So the more that you keep doing this, the more that I feel like you're, I don't want to say burying the mystique of The Undertaker, but that is kind of what it feels like. Yeah, literally. Thank you. So it's just, it drives me nuts that they are trying to humanize him to this point, and I feel like it's just a bad call.
Has AJ Styles lost his touch?
In what way?
Like, I know that I still like AJ, but I feel like so many people have turned on him where they still don't appreciate him for what he is. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of like, since he hooked up with the OC, like, AJ's not cool anymore. AJ's a bad heel, like that kind of stuff.
I don't think he's a bad heel so much as, like, just what have his feuds been as of late, aside from The Undertaker?
True.
Right.
And so it's like, maybe he's doing good heel work, but it's who's it against? Like, I honestly can't remember before.
No, I can't either.
Even before Super Showdown. Like, I can't remember who he was feuding with.
Orton, maybe, at one point?
Yeah, it was Orton. Yeah, and then they just pivoted from it. I mean, I think they were trying to make him be the guy to build that young roster on Raw. I think they were pairing him with Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Humberto Carrillo, and all that.
Oh,
And it just, I don't know. I think they just realized that they had Edge, so they pivoted away from that to have Orton, and that just kind of left AJ out there, kind of, just out there saying, hey, what about me? And then they just decided to do The Undertaker. I don't hate AJ as a heel, but I feel like the best way to make a good heel is you got to have a strong babyface to go with it. And I feel like a lot of the babyfaces on Raw right now, they don't have that connection or that, creativity yet to be able to be true babyfaces. So it kind of overshadows it at that point. And also, we're past the point now where AJ just in general gets a reaction whenever he comes out and everyone chants AJ Styles. Now it's just kind of at the point where I feel like the WWE crowd is just kind of like, all right, we're happy that he's here.
Universe.
He's cool. Yeah, thank you. The universe is happy he's here. He's cool and all, but at the same time, like, we still want something different. So now you're just a guy. You're not that special anymore.
And especially if he's going to be working with the Undertaker, where it's like when he's working with someone younger than him and who can go, AJ can put on the best show. I mean, he could carry a paper bag, but he's not even going to put on a 4-star match with the Undertaker. It's going to be impossible to get anything like real good out of him. And like AJ's going to sell his ass off, but like I feel like putting him with the Undertaker, it's not doing anyone any favors. And like unless AJ wins, I don't think putting him with the Undertaker is a really great move, because Undertaker wins, okay, cool. He's he's 24-2 at Mania now or whatever. And if AJ wins, he's the third person to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
So number one, I really hope that record was accurate, because that's very impressive on your part. If that
It is accurate.
Is it? That's pretty impressive. Number two, I understand the reason for the match. Don't get me wrong, because it's like AJ signed his contract and I believe he has 5 years left, and he's already said that when that contract's up, he's done.
Right.
He's done. So we're trying to get everything that we can out of AJ Styles before that time comes up. And the way that they're clearly looking at it is Undertaker is not going to be able to last 5 more years. I don't see it happening. So looking at it from this perspective, I get it. Like, we got to get this match out there because it's a match that no one ever thought they'd see. And it does qualify as a dream match, even if it's going to.
Not to me.
Phenom versus
it's
Phenomenal.
Not a dream match to you?
No, man. Like, I popped for AJ versus Edge when that was like teased at Mania. Or at Rumble. I was like, that's what I want to see. And then they added Orton. I'm like, I could watch that 3-way all day.
Yeah.
Because we know Orton and AJ can still work, and they'll carry Edge if Edge doesn't have the gas anymore. But like that, like all 3 of them can talk. All 3 of them can go. Like, I was all for that. Now I understand that immediately people remember Rated R Superstar, and that became the storyline, yada, yada, yada. But AJ and Taker? Fuck no.
It just like storyline just doesn't make sense. Like
I would have rather the Fiend killed Taker again. Like, I want that rematch.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Now that he's the Fiend. And I want all the superpower, dark magic bullshit that we got the first time. But I want the Fiend to win this time. Not that I don't like who the Fiend's facing at Mania. I'm in love with that match.
I'm all for that. We'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
What's the next seg?
So
the Royal Rumble?
No. I can't believe they showed all of it. I'm stunned. I'm not stunned. I'm also
apparently
just like
popped a rating.
Well, here's what they did too. So I watched the Hulu version. The 90-minute cut down had all of the Rumble in it.
Well, it's kind of a good way to drive subscriptions in a way, because there are a lot of people who still don't have the network and who are just watching it on cable or free TV. And so if they see the Rumble, they're like, oh, this is something that I'm missing, and it might get them to subscribe. Like, same with showing Elimination Chamber on SmackDown. It also goes to show how little like good content there usually is in a Raw, where they're like, okay, we have these 4 or 5 segments that we're going to do, but we still have another hour to fill. Fuck it. Goddamn, pal, let's just show the Rumble. Like,
so speaking of, you think Vince was just like in the back, like, I have no idea what the fuck she's saying, but god damn it, it's such good shit.
Oh, no doubt. No, she was one of the best parts of the show. If we're talking about Asuka, right?
Yes. What was that?
Oh, she was great. It was phenomenal. It was so good. I don't know what it was, but all I know is I want more of it, because I was entertained.
I don't even think she was speaking Japanese. She was just making noises, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Triple H and Asuka on commentary.
Oh, my God.
It'd be great.
Actually, I'd like a 3-man booth of Trips, Asuka, and Orange Cassidy, who was brilliant on AEW's. Greg, you missed it. It was phenomenal, to say the least.
Was it?
He fell asleep
so
at one point. He fell asleep at the booth.
Same.
And it's
Was he snoring like on commentary and all that too?
no, not even snoring. He was just like laid like this, and then like Taz like nudged him, and he didn't move. Like,
I think they still botched Asuka so bad.
Oh, I know.
When they brought
they did.
like she does have so much natural charisma. Like I've been watching her during the quarantine. I've been watching some more of her YouTube channel where she just like the last one I watched, she just went shopping at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's so like other ones, she's just like making food or going on a tour of a place, and she is so compelling. And they let her shine a little bit on that segment on SmackDown, I think, where she just like at the end when she was like doing that, and then same thing with when she was on commentary. And man, I just makes me wish that she was involved in any sort of fucking match that mattered.
well, go ahead.
Is
Greg.
it possible that the streak ruined her potential?
They ruined the streak.
Mhm.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
She should have came on and been unbeaten for a year or 2 years on the main roster, and because then she's a legitimate threat to Becky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in the Elimination Chamber, you're like, well, Asuka's never lost. Like how like you expect Shayna to win, but like Asuka's never lost. So like, you know what I mean? Like having her as a legit threat at any given point in time. And we go back to this like with Bray all the time, right? Is that she should have been treated almost like a part-timer, where you don't use her every Raw, you don't use her every pay-per-view. She's
don't
not
even give her squash matches,
right.
Like,
It's when she comes out, it's for gold, and you know that person's going down. Like imagine if Charlotte had beaten everybody, okay, and had the Raw Women's Championship, and you're like, she's literally run through the roster. Because I remember that being a thing at one point. I'm like, Charlotte's beaten everybody. Who could possibly be? And then you hear the da-na-na. I mean, you would pop. You would pop knowing that Charlotte was going to lose because here comes Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that Mania moment just made me so sad.
Yeah.
Just like I remember watching it right in this very room and being like, "Come on, you're gonna make her tap out to like."
Oh, I know that was the worst part because Asuka doesn't tap.
No,
Right.
No,
Character does not tap.
No.
Now, granted,
passes out.
that was one of the best matches on the show, I will say. I mean, Charlotte and Asuka, like, give me that. I mean, all day. I think
But Charlotte should have lost.
Charlotte absolutely should have lost that match. Like, I didn't get it. And then let's not forget either, Asuka's entire year was just horrible by selling to Carmella the entire time, which that also killed her completely whatsoever, because Carmella looked like a chicken shit heel. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, like, you're essentially destroying Asuka's credibility at the same time by doing that. And they've never been able to recover from it.
Well, I think they're recovering now, though, by letting her be herself, by letting her do the mist, and like her having like Kyrie as like a sidekick. Like, there's parts of that where I'm like, if they push this the right way, I'm all for it. And I, am all about bringing back, Asuka the Destroyer that she was in NXT, because the women's division's big enough now that she can go away and you can let the Dana Brooks of the world get beat by whoever the champion is. And then you bring Asuka out when it's time to switch a belt.
Mm-hmm.
Now we shouldn't forget, which I forgot until right now, that Asuka is the one half of the women's tag team champions.
Yeah, because you haven't seen Kyrie in a minute. Is she hurt?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
I think they're still afraid to like use her just after the incident that happened with the concussion and all that. And I'm so torn on Kyrie, because there are times when I watch her and I'm very entertained by it, but I don't like her as a heel, man. I don't.
Oh no,
like, it's weird. Seeing her as a heel.
It's weird because it's kind of like when I first saw Sami Zayn as a heel, because I'm like, you have one of the most pure baby faces in the history of the business, and you're putting them as a heel, and it's like, what's going on? And with Sami, it's worked, but with Kyrie, it's just been weird.
Well, and like you look at what they do with Rio on AEW, that's exactly what Kyrie should be. That's exactly what she should be.
Yeah.
And she's not.
Yeah.
So, all right. The next segment was Becky Lynch responding to Shayna Baszler, and holy shit.
Becky knows how to cut a promo, man. Just that's all you need to know. Becky knows how to cut a promo, and it's gold.
Especially,
go ahead.
Especially without a crowd. Like, that's been one of my favorite things about all of this, is seeing the promos being able to be paced in a way where you're not like waiting for a reaction every time, and you're not like, don't get me wrong, it is good to feed off of the crowd with that stuff, but like promos in general have just gotten so much better and more intense and more personal, I think.
Well, they're looking down the barrel of the gun. They're looking right into the lens now. They didn't do that on Friday. They did that all day Monday. And then you don't have to worry about the what. There's no what. There's no boo. There's no anything.
You don't.
It's just, let me get my message right through this fucking camera. And, I mean, the man doesn't have to worry about the what to begin with, but god damn is she good when she's just got a fucking open mic and runway.
It reminds me of 80s JCP, when you had guys cutting promos in the studio, and they didn't necessarily have to worry about anyone like over the crowd. I mean, yes, they had a TV studio audience, but it was never anything like that. Now, if you watch any of those old promos with Flair or Dusty or Magnum or Tully or any of those guys, like, those promos are classics, and they are just straight on in the camera. No distractions whatsoever, and they get their message across, and they're phenomenal promos. So in a weird way, not having the audience anymore has done wonders for some of these guys, because that's what I remember about Raw, is how great the promos were.
I agree 100%, but that's not the 80s wrestler she reminded me of. She reminded me of Roddy. And it's not the accent. It's not, the Irish. It's the way she adapts the English language. She throws in a big word every once in a while just to make you think like, oh shit, like she means what she's saying, and like she's using vocabulary that is above the heads of a professional wrestling fan, which is a little heelish, but you still love her for it, just like you did Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Right. If there was one promo though that may have been better than Becky Lynch's, it was the stunning Kevin Owens. I'm gonna push that as his new nickname. The stunning Kevin Owens.
When he grows his hair long.
Yeah, exactly.
The Toronton blonde Kevin Owens.
Ooh, Toronton blonde. I like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Man, that was so good. Talk about the best way to make an empty arena match personal.
Yes.
Like, just being able to talk about, like, this is my home turf. Like, you were in FCW, and then you kind of bailed real early on, but me, I am forged here. I am forged in NXT. I am forged in the Performance Center. This is my home. I'm going to kick your ass in it.
I don't think he's ever lost in that building, in the NXT arena. Because when he lost the title, he was not – it was overseas, or it was at
That's true. He was in
takeover.
Japan. Beast in the East.
He did not lose it.
Yeah, he was in Japan.
In NXT. I don't think he's ever lost in NXT.
No, I don't think so. And even with the last time,
I can't recall it. No.
Even the last time he had a match the last NXT match he had was the
was the ladder match.
Well, War Games technically.
Oh yeah, sorry, excluding War Games.
Yeah, but that wasn't at the PC. But that ladder match against Finn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the first ladder match, but that was a takeover. It wasn't in the PC. Yeah. I think that this is the way they need to go. That they're gonna need to access the backstage promos, the sit-down interviews, the vignettes. This is the way they're going to have to do it until they get a crowd back. Becky and Edge did great as far as being like out in the ring, and it felt like that's where it needed to be.
Mhm.
But they did all of them on Friday from the ring, and it was flat. They're going to need to access, to really rely on the behind the scenes kind of stuff, because those are generally when the best promos are anyway. So, like, why not have more vignettes of people calling each other out? I think it would really work.
2 words: Vince McMahon.
I know. All right.
This isn't the first time an out of touch old man hasn't believed in me.
We'll get to that.
I heard. I haven't seen it yet. I heard about it. I need to see the promo.
I'm begging you to watch the product, Gregors.
You look like $1 million, dude.
Bro, I had other stuff. I'm sorry.
Here's the deal. Monday Night Raw happened on March 16th. That date is 3/16, and there was only one man that could close the show on 3/16.
1, 2, 3. Byron Saxton.
Exactly. First and only time Byron Saxton has invented anything.
I'm surprised you didn't do a Saxonation there.
There's never been a time I wanted to be Byron Saxton more than that closing of Raw, because he looked like he just
kid.
He looked like a little kid, just like having the time of his life with Stone Cold Steve Austin in the middle of a ring. He takes the stunner. He gets to drink great IPAs, from what I have allegedly heard, and
allegedly
he gets to like just hold up scorecards. Allegedly.
Don't worry, we
the
got
scorecard stuff.
We got
was
some Gregors.
Thank you. I love you guys. But the scorecard stuff was hilarious. The oh god, I'm trying to think of what else. When you watch him like actually do the give me just the hell yeah part, and you can just see how excited he is when he goes yeah. Oh, it's great.
Byron Saxton was the Make-A-Wish kid at Raw.
He sold the stunner better than some of the main roster's been selling Kevin Owens stunners, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Wait, whoa. Really? I don't know, man. Like some of those 8-man tags with Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins, they've been selling the stunner pretty well.
You've got those two, but like Saxon, it was like classic. It wasn't
the
like
double bump.
Buddy Murphy did. Yeah, like Buddy Murphy, it was fun and all, but like doing a fucking backflip is so unreal. Like none of it's realistic, but it's just like, come on, it takes me out of it. But like just the way the boom, just straight to your back, like it's.
I mean, The Rock is the ultimate. Nobody sells it better than The Rock.
No, yeah. And I love the story about how he used to like try to sell it as best as he could because they would bet cases of beer on it or something like that.
Well, he tried to get him to pop. If he got him to pop in the ring from the cell, then The Rock got a case of beer out of it. And that's how he famously bumped out of the ring, and that was the only case of beer he ever got, because it was like literally like he just like tumbled out of the ring, and that was just
we can't forget there's a classic Scott Hall bump for that. Look it up. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember that. He went down and then just like jumped way up while still sitting.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, yeah. Where he does he like kind of just bends over with it and then jumps all the way backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't take me out. Doesn't take me out of it as much as Buddy Murphy's, but yeah, Byron Saxton's was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
That's the advantage, though, to having well, I don't know that Corey would ever bump, but guys like Byron who were wrestlers that became commentators. Because like Michael Cole could never bump, right?
Nope.
No.
Jerry was always the best bump because he knows how. And having a guy like Byron, who everybody loves to hate, take a stunner is just like, probably the best part of the show.
Couple months ago when they had Dio Madden take that F5, that was fucking rad.
That was pretty good.
Although
I'll never forget Michael Cole taking the F5 that like sent him on vacation.
And He like came out of his shoes completely on that one.
Literally
Yeah,
came
that
out of
was
his
bad.
shoes. Literally, the
That was
shoes
bad.
came off.
Coming out of shoes, hey, but he's feeling just fine.
Do you think Becky should have had her own beer?
I kind of liked how she brought in her own cooler.
Right.
How she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be part of the party." Like, I mean, she had plenty of room in that 18-wheeler, so like, yeah, of course you're gonna have a cooler.
I just wanted
Full of
Becky. I wanted Becky to have like her own, the man seltzer, or you know what I mean, like something would have been really funny.
Man seltzer.
What kind of beer do you think Becky Lynch drinks?
I mean, she's Irish, so it's got to be something like Guinness related. I would assume.
I would tell you this.
A Magner's pear cider, perhaps.
Whatever Becky's drinking is a higher alcohol percentage than what Seth's drinking.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, Seth's probably drinking like Dogfish Slightly Mighty or like some low cal.
He's drinking
like,
Trulies.
Oh man.
I love Seth. You'll be hard pressed to find a bigger Seth fan on the face of the planet, but like
I can't confirm.
God, he does not wear the pants in that relationship.
I'm gonna tweet something real quick, and it's gonna be period at so everyone can see it at Seth at WWE Rollins drinks Bud Light seltzer.
Wow. Woo.
I'm gonna get blocked.
Pass.
Yeah, you will.
On. I mean, he would join the company of Coach of having blocked me on Twitter.
I don't think I've ever been blocked on Twitter, but that's not what I've ever used Twitter for. So,
well, see, I normally don't. But boy, when Coach was on commentary, I think it was last year, the year before.
He was so bad.
He was so bad, and I just happened to tweet. I would rather listen to 3 hours of Roman promos than at whatever the Coach's handle is. Attempts at commentary and blocked before Raw was over.
That's because Coach is a play-by-play guy. He's not a color commentator. So like,
he's a nothing, Greg. He's a nothing.
Right.
He is a pre-show. He's a pre-show host at best,
and he's a douchebag. Right? There was a reason he's not at ESPN anymore. So let's not forget that. No, it's because he was doing stupid shit with girls.
Yeah, like blocking me on Twitter.
All right. NXT. Greg, here's basically what happens. You didn't get to watch, right?
No.
Okay. So NXT, Triple H and Tom Phillips, right?
Yep, Tom Phillips.
Open up the show, and they say that they're going to present NXT like they never have before. And basically, it's an hour-long documentary on the feud between Gargano and Ciampa. It was so good. Like, imagine if they would have just played the Seth Rollins, like, Rebuild, Reclaim documentary as the show, because that's essentially what they did. They kind of, like, twisted it to make it look like Johnny's been the bad guy the whole time when he, like, rolled up Ciampa at the Cruiserweight Classic after Ciampa, like, showed mercy on him. Like, it's just, it was so freaking good. What did you guys, or Ryan, what did you think of it?
From the bits and pieces I saw of it, it was good. There's nothing WWE does better than editing its own shit together.
Right.
It like they a lot of times can't tell a story in real time, but boy, can they put it together in post. Like that's probably the thing WWE is best at. Like video packages before matches, documentaries. And I think that was a good way to not have any matches in an empty arena, but still kind of further stories along.
This did such a great job that it made me forget that anything else was happening in NXT at that time. Like, you felt like those were the only two stars until they made one fatal flaw. And there's a reason why I'm wearing Adam Cole Bebe's shirt today. because when Adam Cole enters the picture of this rivalry, I care more about Adam Cole.
Fair.
Because you forget, like, you're like, oh my God, this rivalry is so incredible. Like, it was the best. You forget that CN was the champion. You forget that
McIntyre was the champion.
McIntyre, Dream. Like, you forget about all these amazing, feuds that were happening at the same time this feud was until they show Adam Cole. And then you remember how much better Adam Cole is than all the fucking rest of them.
What an Adam Cole mark, man. But hey, I got nothing wrong with it. So two things. Number one, Ciampa Gargano absolutely needs to be on Mania.
Ooh.
It needs to be. It
There's
has
two
to
nights.
be.
There's plenty of room.
I know. That's why I'm throwing that out there. It needs to be at Mania. It has to. And then the second thing, I want to point this out. Ciampa Gargano, is it possible that this might be the best rivalry of the past 10 years in WWE?
I literally wrote that down. I literally wrote that down. So, yes.
I'd say it is. I mean, I can't think of a better feud on the main roster.
I can think of one.
Oh.
And this promo made me think about how great the promo that they cut together for DB and Miz will be.
Yeah, that was good. Especially because that was years. That was years in the making too.
And that was something that after Bryan was forced to retire, you never thought was going to happen. It's like, oh, okay, it's a missed opportunity. And there literally was no opportunity because they were still feuding on Talking Smack. But it's like, yeah, Bryan can't do anything because he doesn't wrestle like a coward like Miz.
I'm very, very happy that they're back in their respective roles of DD being the babyface and Miz being the heel, because I truly hope that we can revisit that at least in some point before DB hangs it up.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I really just cannot believe, though, that DB has stolen the world famous it kicks from the Miz.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the Miz's mentee. And, he saw how good The Miz was in the ring, and he felt like he needed to take a piece of it with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all just want a piece of The Miz with us at all times.
True.
Miz and Mrs. streaming on Hulu now.
Let's talk AEW.
Shameless plug.
Ooh.
So here's the deal. The empty arena format is brand new to us for the most part, as far as an entire show goes.
Mm-hmm.
AEW watched Friday and Monday, and they went, okay, here's where they went wrong, and made it 1,000 times better.
So the first thing that I noticed about it that made it so much better, like aside from having like heels on one side in the crowd, baby faces on the other side.
Brilliant fucking thinking there.
Well,
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
The fact that they even changed hard cam so it was facing the stage, so you weren't looking at empty chairs. I think it was something like all night I was like, something feels different, but it feels good. And then when I thought about it today, I was like, it's because they switched it around, and like that made all the difference. I mean, they also had a bigger venue because I think they just had like one of Tony Khan's amphitheaters down in Jacksonville, which definitely
Daly's place.
Which made it like they curtained it off, and so it was just like completely black, and you know there were no real empty chairs. They still had their full set, they had full pyro, they had everything, and so like just the presentation alone made it feel like such a bigger deal. It made it feel like a regular show. It was great.
It was just infinitely, and there were parts of it that I was like, they shouldn't have done that. Like I wish that they would have been mic'd. Like I wish MJF and all of them would have been mic'd, because there was a part where they were kind of like going back and forth. You really couldn't hear what they were saying. You could a little bit, but not enough. But like the heels were yelling shit at the faces during the matches. They were betting. Like
I heard that.
Exchanging
I heard
money.
That's hilarious.
They were drinking wine.
But they were getting drunk. Like and Jericho was making fun of them getting drunk. Like, there was so much.
And Wardlow was there.
Wardlow was there, unfortunately. The show opened up with Cody in the middle of the ring, and he is pleading his elite brothers to come together. I am famous for saying that Hangman Page is nothing but a horse, that he has no gimmick, that he has no character. Hangman Page felt so fucking important in a promo where he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He just came out to the ring, raised his glass of whiskey, just like he said, he's done drinking beer during the coronavirus.
Yep.
He raised his glass of whiskey and like said, "I'm with you," and then walked away. And you're like, oh, this is like Attitude Era good fucking shit, man. It was so good. Oh, I haven't had a promo feeling like that in a long time.
Yeah. The long tease that the story of Adam Page is absolutely great. And in hindsight, being 2020, it was absolutely the smartest move to not give him the title when at All Out, because everyone thought that it was going to be him, because no one thought Jericho was going to be the champion after this. They all thought, this is a part-timer that's just here for it. No, in hindsight, it was brilliant, because we all thought about it and was like, yeah, Hangman hasn't really hit that next level. He's everything that you could possibly want in a wrestler. He is essentially the create a pro wrestler, but getting that, connection with the audience and getting a character and trying to develop into an all-around worker that he is turning into, it's been very great to watch. I would not be shocked if he goes to All Out in September and he actually does become the AEW champion, for all we know.
Yeah.
It's very possible. Like, we could see a heel Adam Page beat Jon Moxley for the championship at All Out. And I would be totally okay with that, because a full year circle of Hangman growing and developing is exactly what he needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the past, month or so, hand wash has really grown on me. And
That's what Jericho calls him.
Well, that's what his lower third says.
Is that what it says? Hand wash?
Yeah. Because remember the group chat that
that's right.
that letter that he sent out.
Right.
He's at the top of it. It says social distancing since November, and then it says Adam Hands Wash Page. So he's been winning me over. Like, I liked him a few years ago, like when he was, first kind of buddying around with the Elite. But then once AEW started, I was like, just like you, Josh, I was like, so he's a horse. What?
He's got a big dick and he's a horse.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I don't like horses. So why?
I am not a horse girl. Good to know.
No, horses, waste of space.
Wow.
Waste of space. Why would you ride something that's 1 horsepower when we have cars that are worth 1 million horses?
It's a valid point, actually. Yeah.
Just logic.
I have a whole note, like a few pages in a notebook about how much I hate horses, and I'll bring that up for the next episode.
Perfect.
Please do. I actually would love to see that.
Yeah.
This is just, though, a microcosm of what AEW is doing that even NXT suffers at. The number of stars they've created since Dynamite started is starting to grow. And it's going to be a problem for WWE. And we're going to get to one guy later in particular that I feel like will be the Mankind tipping point for AEW. One of those guys that they're pushing, actually 3 of those guys that they're pushing, is the Death Triangle. I don't know if you could create a better faction for me personally. I love Neville in NXT. I love Pentagon Jr. I love the Lucha Brothers. And the 3 of them, like, hanging, like, they only support each other in the ring. Like, they're not doing promos together. They're kind of just coming to each other's aids when they need them. So, Greg, the Lucha Brothers faced off against the Jurassic Express on Dynamite. And the Lucha Brothers had it completely in hand the entire time. And they won the match. And Pac never showed his face. When's the last time you had a faction where all of them weren't out there together at the same time? Every time.
No, that's really strange, actually. Like, even if you look at Undisputed Era, like, they will always be around each other 24/7. So,
but they were doing it even before.
Keep kayfabe alive, Brian. Keep kayfabe alive. Jeez.
Because there was a match where Pac was out there alone and the Lucha Brothers didn't show up.
Oh yeah.
So like, they're together, but only when they need it. And that's something we have not seen before, where it's like this understanding, like, you got my back, I got your back, but we're not going to be involved in every match. I love that.
Yeah, when I first saw this pairing together, I was very confused by it because, to me, even though, like, they're heelish, I look at the Lucha Brothers as baby faces, like, 100%.
Absolutely, but so is Pac.
Like, that's fair. But it's like with Pac in general, though, like when you see him and you can kind of tell, like, he's going after guys that we love, like Kenny, like Orange Cassidy and all that. Like, he is specifically trying to be a heel. And I cannot really recall a time, like, when you're watching a Pac match that he doesn't do something that you just hate. Like, if I'm watching the Lucha Brothers, everything they do, I'm just like, oh my God, that's amazing.
This is so cool.
So it is. So when I first saw the pairing, I was like, this is a little weird, because it's like these are two guys. It's essentially three guys that are incredible in the ring, but it's like they don't really have a strong story right now. So it's just like, all right, let's just put them together to see what works, and it's working. Apparently, it is working. So give them a ton of credit. Although I want Phoenix and Pentagon to be singles for a while. I love the Lucha Brothers, but dear God, Pentagon and Phoenix as singles going against each other, against some of the best in AEW, would be amazing.
I think it's coming. I think they realized that they needed depth in that tag division desperately.
Right. Well, they were building it too, because they didn't have Butcher and Blade. Like Private Party was still new. Jurassic Express was kind of newer as well. So, like, yeah, I get that.
SCU was existing.
Yeah, that's true. And then Dark Order, I still like them. But...
Whoa! Is that the Unforsaken ones?
The Unforsaken ones.
That's Brody Lee coming in.
Brody Leanne.
Brody Leanne.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's the broken Brody Pug.
Ah!
I knew you'd snort.
Man. Well, you know what? The G1 winner, right?
G1 Climax winner.
Holy shit.
Just was in the show.
God damn. Chaos
is reigning
supreme. That's history right there, folks.
Yeah.
As Chaos was reigning supreme, the Best Friends took on who?
It was...
Did it matter?
Oh, shit, it was...
was it the Lucha Brothers? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, it was Lucha Brothers, because there was some wild shit.
The reason why we don't remember is because Orange Cassidy was on commentary.
Exactly. Why would we give a shit?
He fell asleep. He threatened the Lucha Brothers by half raising a fist at them as if he was going to do something.
He put his hands in his pocket and did a stage dive.
This is the guy that's going to change it for AEW. You know how WCW did not take Mankind seriously? Like, literally saying, Mankind's going to win the title tonight on Raw. Who wants to watch that shit?
Right.
This guy is the guy who's going to tip it in the favor of AEW. Because WWE, he would never last. He would never survive. They don't see any value in him. And he's gold.
They wouldn't even give him a 24/7 title.
No.
But like the fact that they have used him the way they have in terms of like a managerial role, and then having his like first singles match be at Revolution against Pac, and then just letting him do his Orange Cassidy thing, it won so many people over. Like JR is quoted as saying that like he gets it now. He at first he was like, what's this shit? And then he saw it and it's like, oh, I get it. This guy has it.
Right.
And he does. And it's gonna be Orange Cassidy is gonna win a belt. And I hope it's the title, and I hope that it somehow has to match up against a WWE pay-per-view. I don't think it will. I think AEW is smarter than that. Mm-hmm. But there will be a paradigm shift, and I mean to borrow the phrase, when Orange Cassidy becomes champion. Because WWE will be looking at that going, I don't get it. And the entire wrestling world is going to be like, I get it.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah, that's the point.
Like, WWE didn't get, like, they don't get things that make sense to a lot of people. Like, WWE didn't fucking get Brody Lee. Like,
right.
When it's
here's a funny thing. Yeah. WWE does not get anything that pro wrestling fans love.
Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing to me. Orange Cassidy is literally the epitome of everything that we love in pro wrestling. It's entertaining as hell. And yes, you may struggle to get it at first, but god damn, like when you always want to see that guy, that's how you know that he's over. That's how you know that that's something that pro wrestling fans love. And that's the problem with WWE in general. They're not a pro wrestling company. They're a sports entertainment company. So they're not going to push this. They're not going to get over with this. But to speak about with Orange Cassidy for a sec, the one thing that I'm very intrigued to see what happens as they move along, I cannot wait to see what happens when the best friends eventually realize that. Don't what?
Don't. When they realize what? When they what?
Do you want me to say it?
Say it. Just say it.
When they realize that everyone loves Orange Cassidy and not them, and they get sick of it.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you were going to say when the best friends break up, and I'm like, I can't. My heart can't take that again.
No. They'll never break up. I'm talking about like those two realizing that Cassidy is getting all the love and not them.
Yeah, they'll turn on him, and then it'll be fine.
It'll be fine because Chuck and Trent are solid hands in the ring, and so that'll be a good match. Also, let it be known, man, I've been on the Orange Cassidy train for a long time.
Yes, you have.
Yeah,
you have. We will give you credit for that.
Yeah.
You had the original Orange Cassidy shirt when he was still in the Indies, so
that's right. Yeah. I'm ahead of the curve on one thing.
Let's talk about somebody I don't get. The Jurassic Express faced off against the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
The Butcher and the Blade, to me, feel like the tag team that should have been left on the Indies. And I understand everyone needs a jobber. You need a team to lose. You need all of that kind of stuff. But, like, man, I just don't get it. And I want to get it. I want to get it because I love Andy Williams. And I've seen these guys in a bar, wrestling, and I loved them when they were there. But they feel like – hang on, let me find my exact note. They're old. They want to be old school, but not because it's cool, but because that's all they can do.
Yeah, it's like if they were smaller and more, not even smaller. If they were just like a little more well seasoned, they would.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Old school tag team that's smaller.
Well, see, I feel like they want to have a revival type feel. What?
Who?
What?
We're talking about AEW.
Yeah, but
who?
Yeah, but I'm saying they want to have like a revival type feel.
Bro, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about. There were these jobbers that were on Raw a while ago. They had some kind of like past or something like that.
There were these guys in NXT. Don't you guys remember?
Those guys were good.
Yeah, they were good. And
Are
they
you talking
were
about the tag team? Are you talking about the tag team that's like sitting at home and hasn't been paid by WWE in like 4 months or something like that from the rumor innuendo going on? Okay, I got you.
I literally thought I'm like, I'm making sense, and then you guys are just ribbing me. I was like,
oh, I can't wait for them to come. Oh
Yeah.
my God, them and AEW.
But
so good.
guys,
all serious.
I
Go ahead,
low-key really want Jim Cornette to be their manager.
Please.
You want to talk heat?
Please, God,
you want to
fuck
talk
Jim
heat?
Cornette.
My God,
But
give
Steve,
me that, please.
Jim Cornette in like worse than Baron Corbin heat. Like I'll watch Baron Corbin on screen. I do not want to watch Jim Cornette on my goddamn television set anymore.
What about Dutch?
Dutch is fine.
All Dutch would be good.
Dutch would be good.
Dutch would be good.
Yeah.
All right, so you were saying.
I was saying that like I think they want to have that kind of a feel, but they're still too green, I think, to have that, like, even if you're working an old school style, you have to be good.
Yeah, they felt green.
Exactly. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's like, I don't know very much about the guy that's not Andy.
Right.
But Andy.
What, Pepper Parks? I think he was known as like Braxton Sutter on the Indies, I think. He wrestled for Impact.
Okay. That's why I've never heard of him. But like, it's just, I don't know. They have their gimmicks fine, but it's just they can't back it up, and it really bugs me. I wish that the screen time was going to someone else. Good for them for getting paid. Good for them for getting on a major company, but like, I just don't think they're ready yet.
Yeah, there's so many guys that you could pluck from literally anywhere. I mean, like, they got LAX. That was the biggest signing, right? Like, as far as like strengthening your tag team division, like that's the one you want.
Yeah.
But LAX hasn't been competing in the tag division because they're doing inner circle stuff. And I understand that you need your jobber pushover team. I just don't think that your jobber pushover team needs to be this green.
Right. Because a jobber pushover team should be someone who can make people look good in the ring. I mean, look at the B team. The B team, they were a jobber pushover team, but like, both of those guys know how to work, know how to put people over, make them look good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Greg, have you been holding the phone the whole time?
Yeah.
Arm strength must be incredible.
Wow.
Well, I also, I have it
arm
resting like on my knee and stuff too. So yeah.
Still,
so it's
incredible.
like balancing it the entire time.
That's dedication. Get yourself a fucking pop thingy, pop socket. Jesus, Greg.
I might have.
I did it yesterday too.
Around.
Maybe, but with regards to Butcher and the Blade, I think the gimmick is absolutely on point. I think it's like different. I look at it as a dangerous type of duo that could do a lot of work. But I think the problem, first off, putting them dastardly. Yes, they are a dastardly tag team that I think works. But I think the main problem with it though is that they got squashed in their second match by Darby Allin and Cody, which really kind of screwed them, to be honest. Who
aren't even a tag
team. It doesn't
team.
make them
right.
Right. So like I think making them a dastardly tag team was a good idea, but you squash them in their second match, you lose all credibility right there. And I love. Are you trying to poke Brody?
I did
it. I like the idea of I like the idea of pairing them with MJF because I think that's an easy like comparison right there. You know, Big Mouth who's trying to hire the mercenaries of the tag team division to help him with that. I get that, but I think they set them up for a disaster right off the get-go, and trying to rebuild all that steam is going to be a long way to go before they get any credibility in my eyes. Just how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's the exalted one again. So during the kind of the finale-ish of AEW, the Dark Order came to the ring and finally revealed their master.
First of all,
Go ahead.
this I guess I just really haven't been paying attention because you guys know how much I've been shitting on the Dark Order for the majority
Yes,
of
you have.
this. When Evil Uno was cutting that promo in the ring, I was like, okay, I like this. Because
Same.
he came out wearing a suit and
Yep.
his funny mask. And he wasn't all trying to talk like how I don't know how I pictured him talking, but like he was just like, yeah, we're the Dark Order, and here's our guy, in spooky talk, of course. But I was just like,
Right.
okay, I get it, I like this.
They felt more doomsday culty than they ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good way for me to course correct with them, where I was like, okay, I get you now. And
Join thedarkorder.com.
And then whatever that is. And then to add somebody who how do you hate him? How do you hate Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper? How do you hate him? He's old school as old school gets. It's incredible.
He is.
Greg doesn't hate him. And he said Greg is going to lose the Wrestling League. And Greg still doesn't hate him.
It's true.
I am not losing the Wrestling League. But first of all, I was so upset that this got moved out of Rochester because that was Brody Lee's hometown. So
it would have been the biggest.
That would have been such a great pop. That would have been such a great pop.
I was so sad.
I caught a little bit of the actual scene of him debuting. I loved how they set up his clothesline by doing the almost like a Sister Abigail tease and then spinning it out into the clothesline. I love that. I love that touch whatsoever. My biggest fear with Brody Lee, and this is probably because I don't really recall seeing a lot of this when he was in WWE, and I apologize, I'm not as familiar with his run on the Indies before he got to WWE. I don't know how good his promo games are, to be honest with you.
Oh, if you go back and watch the full segment from last night, it started with like distorted voice, almost reminded me of Saw. And he starts talking, and then you see this shadowy figure in a smoky hallway, and then come out, and it's like, my name is Brody Lee, and he's kind of cutting a promo, kind of around like a dangling light bulb, in homage to how he used to cut his promos post Wyatt family, and dude can talk. Like WWE dropped the ball with him so much. I went back and watched his I think it was like a triple threat from SmackDown where it was him versus Bray versus Randy, which should have been the Mania match. And boy, dude can work. Same with his ladder match for Mania 31, I think.
Yep.
For the IC title.
Oh, his ladder match. Yeah.
Like, dude,
or even like the one ladder match with him and Ziggler. Oh yeah, so good.
Like the dude is one of the most just solid hands in the ring. Has a great bruiser style.
He's Kane. He's Kane.
I was gonna say he's Bruiser Brody, but
his style is Bruiser Brody, but what he can bring to your roster is he's Kane. He can be on top as a champion if you need him to, but he is so good in that mid card, and he just makes people look so fucking good. He's Kane.
So that'd be that's my only concern with him.
I just blow your mind, or were you doing the Brody?
I was on.
I thought I
or the
blew your
Maurice
mind with the Kane reference.
So I think he has the total package to be everything that we believe that he could have been in WWE. The charisma of being a cult leader is something that I'm intrigued to see if he can pull off moving forward. Because yes, he was behind Brady. He was behind Brady the entire time. He essentially was a cult leader in NXT, so he should have been able to pick up something from him. So I'm intrigued to see how this will look moving forward, because when he's in the ring, dude's amazing. Like his match with Dijakovic, his match with AJ Styles on SmackDown, we saw all of that. The dude knows how to work. So I think that if you give him the opportunity to, I'm very excited to see what he can do. I'm intrigued to see if you would pair him with Christopher Daniels to start with, but then I'm more intrigued to see what could happen after that. because I'm intrigued to see who they would pair him with.
Well, it's the easiest 3-man team to bury, right? So Stu Grayson, Uno, and Brody Lee versus SCU. SCU gets buried, nobody cares, and they look good because of it. I think that's – and SCU's not doing anything right now. It seems like a no-brainer. Before you unleash them on a Jurassic Express, a Death Triangle, an Inner Circle, something like that.
And Brody Lee versus Luchasaurus.
Oh, that
sign me up.
So
sign me up.
Brody Lee versus Marco Stunt. That's a galaxy brain right there.
He just thrown. He would thrown like a lawn dart. It would be incredible. It would be like Brock versus Ricochet. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
The guy I want to see Luchasaur versus is Aleister Black.
The tail whip versus the black mass. I love it.
Man, there was a very bad tail whip last night. He got he didn't get all of it, as they say. He got none of it.
Yeah.
Against Butcher and Blade.
Yeah.
It was about this.
I mean, I'm not surprised because like
this far away.
Yeah, Luchasaurus, like you could tell, like he's big and everything like that, but he's still a little green too. So it's gonna take.
Yeah,
some time
he's a
before he gets there
dinosaur.
still. I mean, that's true. That's true. They are very stiff.
I
very
think
stiff.
I really liked Luchasaurus until I saw, and this happens a lot in AEW. I saw him and Phoenix do the same move, that question mark kick, where they like come out and come down, and like Phoenix makes it look like Link slashing a sword, and Luchasaurus is like, and then like it doesn't even get anywhere close to the guy. And it doesn't have the same. Like when Phoenix did it, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And when Luchasaurus did it, I was like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I think with Luchasaurus, it's like he has to remember he has to work like a big man. And I think that there's times where, yes, he can break out some cool stuff and all that, but at the same time, though, like you have to use what you have currently to be able to sell yourself in the ring. And as a big man, like there's just moves that you have to be able to do more often than not, I would say.
Especially when you're being paired with Jungle Boy, where it's like he's the one who should be doing all the high flying, fun moves, and then Luchasaurus should be the one who's backing it up with all of the muscle.
I mean this in a psychology way. They need to go back and watch Enzo and Cass tape, because Enzo gets his ass kicked for 10 minutes, and then the hot tag, Cass comes in, big boot, tag and again, finisher.
And that's all.
Yep.
Right.
Big boot.
But it worked. They were over. They were hot.
Terrible.
You can't beat it. The Elite are at odds end. Do you think this is finally the end of this faction that kind of started AEW? I feel like it needs to be.
I think it might need to be, but I don't think it is by a long shot.
I really hope so. I feel like they're smart enough to know it's over.
I think there's still, I don't know what, I think there's still story potential, but I also think there's just money in having them together. Obviously it'll be like, they break up, but then, when they come back together, that'll be a big moment if they wait long enough for it, like the Shield. But I don't know. I just don't see it like fully falling apart just yet.
I think it needs to be. Kenny needs to become a single star again.
Oh, no doubt.
Cody's already wrapped up in so much shit with Lance Archer, MJF. Like, he's Sean Spears. Like, he's literally like got more feuds than he can handle at once. The Bucks need to be involved in this hot tag division, and they need to put people over, which I think they will. But like, this all needs broken apart, and it needs broken apart for one person in particular, this guy we talked about at the beginning.
Adam Page.
Because he'll always be the jobber if he's with them.
Yeah. And even be
I look at them, and it's like it's very hard to separate them. It's very hard to separate them, like looking at it, because the name of the company is literally All Elite Wrestling.
And that's why they need to break up.
They are,
period.
Yes, so it's really tough but at the same time, though, they've done such a great job of building the company without needing the Elite to be a whole. Every single person within the Elite has done such a great job of building the rest of the company and have done their own thing that it's kind of like, we don't really need this. I mean, when they got together on the Indies in the first place, like, yeah, it was cool, and you guys were the foundation of it, but, I mean, it's kind of like we only need it for special occasions right now. Like, the Inner Circle is a unit, and we look at them as a unit. The Elite, we don't really consider them as a unit. They're more so like guys that come together when we need them to be. So, and we honestly don't need them to be in a unit right now. Yes, for the purposes of blood and guts, yeah, I get it. But as of right now, we don't need to see it.
It's 100% agree.
Especially, Adam Page, which we have talked about ad nauseum, but especially Kenny, because
he's being wasted.
Kenny in AEW has just, it's not the Kenny Omega that I fell in love with when I watched Wrestle Kingdom in 2016, when I saw that match against, or 2017 when I saw that match against Okada, when I was like, oh, this is the real deal. And then watching his run all through New Japan and him just becoming my favorite wrestler, and then All Elite Wrestling starts up and I'm like, this is great. I can see Kenny Omega wrestle every week or at least every month and not have to wake up at 2 a.m. to do it. But now, it's like his death match against Mox was great. I think there's been maybe like, did he wrestle Pac?
Yep.
Yeah, that match was like, oh, that's the Kenny I remember. But like the match he had at Fight for the Fallen against,
terrible.
God, I don't even remember. And then like,
I think it was Shima.
Yeah, Shima. And then just everything else really since, it hasn't drawn me in. And even with this storyline with the tag division with him and Adam Page and the Bucks and everything, I just know how much potential he had. Like, not even potential, I just know how good he is. And the fact that they're not exploiting that to its fullest with the roster that they have is just makes me sad.
Finally, Dynamite concluded after the Elite lost a match to the Inner Circle with the return of the Broken One. The debut of Brody Lee felt okay without the crowd, but this one in particular, not having a crowd broke my heart. Like, it broke my heart.
Especially with Vanguard 1 coming down.
Right.
And because there was a promo earlier with Mox earlier in the show where he was with outside the car, I was like I looked over at Kaylee and I'm like, oh, Mox is going to come out and he's going to be the one. And
right.
No, Vanguard, you just see, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that noise, I had no idea what the hell it was, and then all of a sudden when Vanguard 1 just comes into the picture, it's like, oh God.
I can't wait.
If there is nothing more that we need in this world now, it's Hardy Compound stuff with just all of the broken brilliance. We need that in our world right now.
It's tailor-made for it. I mean, like, this is the time to be having House of Horrors matches. This is the time to be having, like, all Elitians. Like, this is the time to be doing all of that stuff.
And it's...
How did none of us realize all Delete Wrestling was a thing? How?
I feel like we did. I mean, I'd seen it on Twitter, like, a bunch.
Yeah, but, like, it just kind of still felt like a pipe dream, sorta, where you're like, yeah, that'd be cool, but, like, I don't know. And then when he shows up, you're just like, fuck, if I wasn't the most excited person on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, like, I knew, obviously because we saw the Bucks of Youth show up on his the Free the Delete videos. It's like he's definitely going to AEW. It's just a matter of when.
Right. Here's my question now.
Okay.
So hang on, let me pull up the AEW roster. Because I stated this at the beginning, and I feel like they've done a really nice job. But let's kind of see if we can get... Okay, so we got Billy Gunn.
Yep. And Son.
And Son, right?
Oh, good rhyme.
I'm going to count Brandy. Brody Lee. Jericho. Cody. Goldust. Jack Swagger. Jim Ross. Mox. Hardy. Pac. 11. Sean Spears. Taz. You see what I mean? Like, that's half the roster is former WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even all of them. Like, the tag teams aren't all on there that I just read off. I mean, is it becoming too WWE?
I don't think so. I think that was something I was a little bit worried about, was it was just going to be, like there'd be some indie guys, but it'd be mostly, like WWE expats.
Right.
But I feel like maybe like the first week or so they show up, I'm like real excited because I remember what they did in WWE, but like, fuck, Pac has become his own person again.
Right.
Like, I'm not remembering.
Right.
I'm not remembering what he was doing as Neville. I'm remembering what he did last week as Pac. Or
I remember what he did as Adrian Neville, not Neville the superhero.
Exactly.
That's who I remember.
Right. And that's kind of the reason why I feel like it's not too much of a concern, because when TNA did that, like, it seemed like whenever WWE would release someone, TNA would snatch them up immediately. Just
literally,
like, hey, let's get the next. Yeah, just like, hey, let's get the next WWE guy. What AEW is doing differently is, I will give them credit for this, is they're getting guys that they know have a strong following on the independent circuit and made their name outside of WWE, and you could argue were more popular outside of WWE. So it's guys that they have that WWE pedigree, but it's not someone that you could say right off the bat, this is a WWE guy. Like,
sure.
Brody Lee, like, I mean, like Matt Hardy, like, made his name like in TNA. Yes, he made his name.
Recreated
in WWE,
his
like,
name.
Yeah. He recreated it in TNA. So, and that's what we all love him for.
And
nowadays.
Chris
Brody
Jericho
Lee,
too. Like Jericho, like all of his stuff he did in New Japan, just like reinvented himself. It's like by the end of his last WWE run, like, yes, there was the Festival of Friendship and whatnot, but like it was just like, okay, Jericho's still around. Then
God, I love that.
But then when he came to New Japan, it was like, this is exciting. And then like when he came to AEW, it's like, okay, this is Chris Jericho. I'm not thinking of WWE Chris Jericho. I'm not thinking of WCW Chris Jericho. I'm thinking of like New Japan, like Painmaker Chris Jericho. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I mean, this is already 2 hours long, but I don't care.
Holy shit.
What else are people going to watch? We're all locked in our houses.
People aren't going anywhere.
That's very true.
Podcast, that's what everyone's going to watch.
A 2-hour podcast. All right. So
I'm low key kind of happy this went longer than 2 beers deep. Actually, I don't know why. I just kind of am.
Put me on a podcast. We can go 4 hours. Okay.
I wouldn't say that we're more entertaining. I would just say that the three of us could literally talk wrestling until the big shiny ball falls from the sky and kills us all.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. Everybody put your Rochambeaus up.
Okay.
Right? All right. Rock,
Yep.
paper, scissors, shoot. You guys got to be in sync with me here. You got to go at the same
it
time.
We all
freezes
did
on us, so
scissors.
apologies.
All right, ready?
Yeah, you
Try this again.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so Greg, you're last here. All right, Ryan, ready?
Yep.
Rock,
All right.
paper, scissors, shoot. What'd you get? Scissors?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ryan, do you want to go first, second, or third in the draft?
Oh, I'll go second.
Okay, so second's the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, I'll take third. So Gregors, you get first overall pick. In 5 wrestlers, you want to enter War Games / Blood and Guts. So pick your 5 guys to be on a team inside of War Games.
What are my parameters here?
Doesn't.
Wide open, baby.
Dixie Chicks, wide open
Wide
spaces.
open? Okay.
Wide open spaces.
Ooh, okay. Okay. So, all right. So to start my War Games team, I'm probably going to go with someone who has experience in War Games. So I'm probably going to go, to start off the bat, I'm going to go with Ric Flair.
Okay. I don't.
Four horsemen are legendary with those matches, and I need someone who's going to be my general and knows what to do in that situation. So I'm starting off with Flair.
And Ric Flair as a first overall pick is probably pretty easy to do. All right.
Flick rare.
Ryan, you're up.
So this was my first immediate pick, like my first thought, and it's a new guy. It might, when you hear it, you'll think it's a great pick. Not necessarily first draft idea, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go Darby Allin.
I knew that was it. Okay. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because he'll put everything on the line for your team.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up now for 2, and obviously you got to go with the King of Hardcore, Cactus Jack. And then I want a guy who's a suplex machine. I want a guy who's an ECW champion. I want Taz.
Oh, that'd be good.
If we're just gonna have a whole round of suplex machines, I'm gonna go Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh.
I think.
Ooh.
Kind of an interesting pick.
I think so
I
because
don't hate that. That's pretty good.
I mean, I don't think he was ever in a War Games match, but I mean, I just remember his ladder match with Ray, and good spots in that. But I mean, all around worker who's gonna get some muscle around, but knows what needs to be done.
Yeah. Greg, you're up for 2.
My second and my third are a tag team that have been in multiple War Games and have also won multiple War Games. Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit.
Wow.
Hmm.
You know what's hilarious is that normally drafts take forever.
Yeah.
And we're just we've thought about this well in advance.
See,
we had this planned out. But I literally pitched this to them at the beginning of the just now. You saw it.
Yeah. So for my third, see, this is where it's going to take a second because I'm trying to think like Greg, but
Ric Flair, Hawk and Animal. That's nasty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I also gotta say this too. So when War Games first came back to WWE, I went on a War Game binge on the network, and they have a best of. So I watched all the original War Games with the Road Warriors, Dr. Death, all the Four Horsemen, and all that stuff. That shit is so good, man. Highly recommend watching it. Except never, ever, ever watch the 93 War Games or the 98 War Games. Ever. Just don't do it.
Ryan?
I'm looking at the history of War Games because I really haven't seen many War Games matches. And so, boy, there have been a lot. There have been way more. A lot of them at house shows, too. Very weird.
Yeah, Great American Bash Tour. Like, that was, like, their big catch, apparently.
That was
gotcha. Yeah, greatest War Games match ever, if you guys want to see this out. 92 Wrestle War.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sting Squadron and the Dangerous Alliance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I'm going to go. Okay, so I've got Darby Allin. I've got Eddie Guerrero. You've got does
you want me to read them off?
I'm saying, does Cactus Jack take Mankind out of the equation?
Yeah,
Fuck.
Yeah.
You
take one face of Foley, get them all.
You should have said Mick Foley then because I felt like
But I want Cactus Jack. I want him to come out as Cactus Jack.
Yeah. See, I just want someone who will get thrown around, so that's why I wanted Mankind.
Well, you got Darby.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's true. But that's why this is so tough. I think we need some muscle at this point. So I'm gonna go with. Hold on. Let me. Well, how are we doing? Oh, it's Vader time.
Oh, that's good. You know what's funny? Building your dream stable is kind of like also the same thing as building a War Games team.
In some senses, yes. In some senses, it is.
Yeah, but you don't need a talker in your War Games team.
No, you do not.
No. Josh, you're up for 2, right?
Yeah, I'm up for 2. Hang on a second. Like, literally is escaping my brain right now.
Describe him.
Bald, New Japan, has like the core.
Ishii.
Minoru Suzuki.
Thank you.
Suzuki's a good choice.
I'd be terrified of him in a cage.
One too many Steve Wires. I can't get Suzuki to come up. Here we go. Here's Suzuki. So, yeah, you got to go with Suzuki because I'm just trying to pick, like, the 5 baddest individuals on the planet, and that's why you got to go with the ECW legend Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, Cactus Jack, Taz, Suzuki, and Sandman.
Wow.
There will be blood. I guarantee it.
Pulls
of it.
Boy.
Ryan, you're up.
Oh, man. Sandman, huh? Well, if you're going to go with that, then I'm going to go with the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm grasping. I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah, I would have taken RVD, I think, over Tommy Dreamer in a War Games match, but that's me.
No. Yeah, well, I think RVD, can get brutal when needs to be, but he, high flyer, more technical guy in a sense, and I think Tommy Dreamer is what you need in that match.
Okay.
Yeah. Greg.
So I was originally going to do a high flyer and a muscle to go with them, but I decided to go a different route. I'm going to do another tag team. And I'm going to go with guys one that can be considered a high flyer and another one who could be considered a hardcore badass.
Picking Enzo and Cass.
I'm going to look. Thank you. I'm going with the Lucha
Hollies.
Brothers. Who?
The Lucha Brothers.
The Hollies?
Oh, ooh.
Okay.
Lucha Brothers is an interesting choice. Because you're getting...
Well, I figured...
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I figured, you need a high flyer in War Games, so Phoenix could definitely be that. And I wanted to get a muscle to go with it as well, just to be, that big, exclamation point for it. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I've seen Pentagon do some crazy shit.
Absolutely.
With weapons and stuff. Like his match with Sami Callihan and then in Impact. Oh God, that was brutal. So like I could see him doing some fun stuff in a War Games match. So yeah, Lucha Brothers, Road Warriors, and Ric Flair.
Ryan, your fifth pick.
So I've got Darby Allin.
Yep.
I've got Vader. I've got
Eddie Guerrero
and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
And I
panic pick on the Tommy
There's
Dreamer.
one very obvious.
I just want someone else who.
There's one very obvious one that I'm very surprised neither of you have taken.
Oh,
yet.
and I'm going to take it right now. Jeff Hardy.
Oh.
Actually, not what I was going for, but good pick.
Okay, yeah, Jeff Hardy. I want Vader, Jeff Hardy, and Darby to just jump off at the same time.
You would
small,
probably get that.
Small, medium, and large. Just boom. Yeah.
Well, I think that the current King of Hardcore deserves to be on this team. I'm going to show you a picture, and you're going to know exactly who I'm picking. That is
Joey Janela.
Greg Malek wearing Joey Janela sunglasses at All In. Gotta have the current King of Hardcore. And to be 100% honest, just one of my favorite current wrestlers right now.
Yeah.
Joey Janela. All right.
I'm legit
honorable mention.
Surprised neither of you picked Moxley.
Didn't even think about that.
So Mox was an idea that I had, but then I thought about Suzuki instead. And Suzuki to me is like all of these guys, maybe except for Janela, are tougher than Mox to me. And not to take anything from Mox, but I think that that list would be able to survive whatever your two teams threw at them.
I would have also
honorable
considered
to.
I would have considered Lance Archer, actually.
Fuck Lance Archer. God.
No, seriously. Like, I think he would have been the muscle for a War Games team, though.
Do you know when I saw Lance Archer on AEW, I was like, cool, they paired him with Jake Roberts. I still don't care.
Wow.
Yeah. I think two choices that I had in my head also were current hardcore guys, Jimmy Havoc and Brody King. I think those two
Brody King would be great
picks.
too.
Yeah, good.
Actually, all of the villain enterprises would have been good. You got Marty, you got Brody King, you have Flip Gordon. I see. Okay,
So,
we
were only picking humans, right?
Right. That is very true.
So
there's only three guys. There's only three guys in villain enterprises.
Yeah,
Marty,
and one
Brody.
person.
There's three guys and one not human.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Guys, you know you can't spell podcast without PCO.
That is very true.
But
that
a
is
different
very
order.
true.
Who?
PCO.
Who's that?
I'm gonna spam the chat. PCO.
Who's PCO?
Former Ring of Honor world champion. PCO. Come on.
Adam Cole, Dalton Castle. Who's that guy I hate that leads the kingdom?
He's the second greatest.
Matt Taven.
Yeah, he's the second greatest Impact Ring of Honor champion behind just ahead of
Cody?
Matt Taven. No, he's not even top 5.
Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
No.
Tyler
Here's
Black.
the thing.
Jay Lethal.
None of them.
Jay Lethal. Oh, Jay Lethal would have been a good pick, Ryan.
All of them, human. That's where their fatal flaw is. They're human. See, here's the thing. I don't think Josh understands.
He doesn't.
The PCO is not human. And I don't care how much of this you cut out. PCO will make it onto every episode of this fucking podcast.
pro content orientation. Is that what that stands for?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it? I'm not familiar with
Peter
that promotion.
Carl Ouellette.
Who? Carl. He was like
Carl.
in the Mounties,
I'm
right?
sick, I'm sick of carrying your ass, Carl. That was the.
I'm so mad I
was
missed
one
that
of-
show.
That was one of the weirdest things. I
did see one of the Mounties accidentally almost kill somebody at that Black Craft show, if that's what you're referring to.
What are you talking about? The scaffolding? The guy, the cameraman,
Killing the
falling off
cameraman.
the scaffolding.
God.
We should do a watch along.
You know, you can still order their
Craft
fake
show.
belts and stuff, but they'll never come. Like you
yeah.
can submit the order, they'll take your money, but then it never shows up.
Yeah.
Not that I submitted money to try to get that DVD or anything, but
I'll talk to a guy. I'll see what I can do.
that ladder match to start was just incredible. All right. This has been the first Wrestling League podcast web show. It was over 2 hours.
PCO. Web PCO.
I doubt anybody watches this, but I don't care. It was more.
Yeah, it was our entertainment.
It was my therapy through the quarantine. That's how I'm seeing it.
We've got a ways to go, boys. So I think we've just got to make the best of it. Who knows? We'll do some more episodes. We'll have some special guests. Maybe we'll have more members of the Wrestling League. Maybe
I think we definitely need to get more wrestling, like Greg Skelp, Justin, Kaylee, Austin, Anastasia, Conroy, all need to be at some point involved because
Brody again.
Well,
Yes.
he was already here.
He made a run in. That's very true.
Winner of the G1.
PCO. And as always, PCO.
Right. All right. Thanks for anyone that watched all 2 hours of this. Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching, guys. And as always, PCO.